So I recently came into acquisition of a giant sycamore log. It's about 50 inches in diameter. It's a little over 6 feet long, which is somewhat short. The tree was actually quite a bit bigger. They just couldn't haul a full length, so I just got a little over 6 feet. They dropped it off in my house, an arborist did. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I have no idea. I didn't seek it out. It just kind of happened to fall upon it. I said I want it, and it's here, and I have no plans for it. I've looked at it. I've thought about it. I've tried to move it. I don't know why I felt like I needed to try to move a log. It's really heavy. You can't move it. But I was thinking, you know, on the last video, you guys helped me, not the last video, but the last Argosy video, you guys helped me pick the wheels. I thought that was really fun. You guys did a great job. We got a lot of votes on that. Why don't we do that with this log? Let's just, you guys decide what I'm going to make with it. Why don't you just leave me a comment, let me know what you want to see built out of this giant sycamore log. Let's keep it within the realm of furniture. I don't want to go off in some crazy, you know, I'm not going to do a dugout canoe out of it or something like that. I want to build furniture out of it. I want it to be cool. I want it to be something that's fun to build. So shoot me a comment. You guys, I want to hear your ideas. This could be a lot of fun. So I look forward to seeing what we come up with. Okay, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you're new to my channel, my name's Andy Rawls. I live on this 2.5 acre property. That's my house. I build furniture, custom furniture out of this shop right here. I've also, for the last year and a half, been restoring an Argosy Airstream right there, which sadly is way behind schedule. I've got 2 king-size beds, a dining room table, and a bench in the shop. Just finishing it up. I want to take you in there. I want to show you how I build beds. I want to show you how they work, how you do the attachment to take them apart, and how sturdy it is. And I want to show you the table as well, some really cool designs. I am doing a short build video on the table, so let's just jump right in right now and check it out. First, we got to get past Mayor, of course. This is my beautiful shop dog, Mayor. He's the best dog there is. He's the best dog. Yes, you like that. I have no idea what breed he is. I think Chow Lab mix, but man, he's a good dog. Give me a shake, bud. Give me a shake. Give me a shake. Don't let me down. Shake. Mayor, shake. Shake. That's all right, buddy. You're getting old. You don't have to do that. So let's start with the walnut bed. Obviously, we've got these really cool kind of turnings that we did on the Oliver lathe. Basically had to just kind of spin this nice taper on there, and then we kept the straight, and obviously there's a taper down at the end. Now, these are pretty long posts, about 4 feet. So I had to actually put the extension on the Oliver to get that length and do it. But other than that, turning these was actually a lot of fun, and really not a super challenging turn. Obviously, it's just this transition's a little bit tricky to not get any chip out right there where you go from square to round. Other than that, it's fairly simple. It's a pretty straightforward panel. There's a slight tilt to it, so it's got a slight bit of angle. You can see the difference in reveal from here down to there. Also, there's a gap down here which is completely intentional. That allows for wood movement. It's actually quite a bit of wood movement there. It's probably a little bit bigger gap than I need. The mattress hits up here, so you're never going to see that gap. The panel is mostly free floating. It is glued and doweled at the top. So I put 2 dowels. Now I basically just drilled out 1/2-inch dowels, made a little jig to do that, to line it up, to make it right. Basically the jig fit inside the pocket, drilled the holes, and then I clamped the jig to the panel and drilled the matching holes, and then I just turned the dowels on the lathe. Now on all my king beds, I do make this center stretcher right here. It's on both beds. It just allows obviously more support for the bed slats. One thing I like to do, and when I make this, you can see it's just a through tenon that goes through. It's super strong, but I love to match the legs, so that's turned around just like those. So if you're down low and you're viewing this bed from the other side of the room, you actually see this cool little leg popping through that matches the other legs. In walnut, same thing on the oak bed. It's hidden back in there. Kind of gives a nice little hidden feature. Obviously that one's square because these are square posts. Now let's talk some about the bed attachment, because this is really the most critical part of any bed. And there's a lot of different hardware out there to do this, and I have built a lot of beds, and this is by far the most sturdy way to do it, and the quickest and easiest in my opinion. Now these are bed bolts. I get these from Horton Brasses. They're 6 inches long. Basically what we've done is we're going to drill a hole in this post. The bolt's going to feed through, and then we've cut a slot in the rail with a mortise to hold this nut. And so along with that mechanical fasten, there's floating tenons in the rails that line it up to the post. So that's a really crucial part. I use my Festool domino, I cut those floating tenons, and then it allows it to go in and line up with the post, and then the bolt will always fall in the right spot. So you can interchange these. You could put this rail on the other side, you could flip it over, and it would still work because everything is cut the same. It makes the assemble really easy. Now, one of the downsides you might find to the bed bolts is that you do have to drill a hole even in the footboard, so that can be a real eyesore. And as you can tell, I've hidden those holes. I have this plug out, but I do have a way to fix that, and it's just with these. Basically a small plug that pops in and matches the wood and basically hides the bolt. I want to show you how I made these real quick because I think they're kind of cool. Real quick little video montage of how those get made. So you can take drop off from your post and use the same wood, and it just matches up real nice and hides it. And if you need to get it out, I always tell my clients, just take a paper clip, bend the end over, pop it in that little hole, and it just pops right out. Pretty cool. If you're going to use bed bolts, this is the way to hide them. So just like the walnut bed, the rift oak has a floating panel as well. We have mortises cut. I have quite a few mortises cut in here. I have a mortise here that fits tight and is glued. We have this really cool reveal that I think that's a really cool feature of the bed. And then down here you have a floating mortise. So a floating tenon. Got about a 1/4 inch gap top and bottom, and it's not glued, so this panel can move up and down. It's just like the walnut panel. It's secured here, but free floating here. To keep that even more secure and strong, I have a dowel in the back, which I have yet to cut down. Need to cut that. And so that is into the tenon has a slotted hole. It's just like a breadboard end. So it allows this panel to float up and down. And we also have the lower bed rail, the lower rail down here, which is a solid mortise and tenon to really give this more strength and obviously give a stop point for your mattress so it can't slide back. You always want this lower bed rail. The tapers are one cool feature as well on this. You can see how this is about a little over 2 inches square, and then it tapers down to about 1 5/8 inches up at the top. And then you've got the canopy on there. That taper is tricky to do because these are really long parts. So I taper them out on the table saw. I've made a jig that I basically can clamp these down, hold them in place, run them through taper them, and then I actually just take a hand plane and I hand plane the saw marks off. It's really pretty quick, especially on tapers, because you're taking advantage of how you've cut through the wood fibers in the grain, so you don't really have tear out. You can plane it really pretty quickly, and you can dial in the start of your taper with a hand plane as well. And then I come back and put these cool little chamfers, nice little detail. Kind of turns it into almost an octagon at the top. So the canopy's pretty simple. Basically just cut a rabbet on the end of each board, and you drill. This is a 1/2 inch dowel that I just glued into the post. I need to cut it down, it's still sitting too proud, and then these just pop right through. You can see my hole's quite a bit bigger in the canopy. I've got a 5/8 hole going through that 1/2 inch dowel. That just gives me a little wiggle room and makes it a little bit easier to get it all to come together. If it was too tight, it would be really hard to make it work. Okay, so along with this bed, this client also ordered a table and bench. And the great thing about this entire order is it all came from my catalog online, which excites me because I love selling that type of furniture. This is something you can go online as well and order. It's the Biedermeier table. So Biedermeier is a German style, kind of a German design style, a lot like America has green and green, or kind of like the Mission arts and crafts styles. And there's a heavy German influence on Texas furniture because in the 1800s there was a lot of German immigrants into the Texas Hill Country. We have a great German kind of heritage here in the Texas Hill Country. And you see it in these legs. So this is a definite Biedermeier style, the curve to those legs, the way they splay out. Same thing on the bench, we kind of match that splay and that curve. So you'll see this look a lot in kind of antique Texas furniture, and that's what inspires me because I love bringing that old kind of Texas, authentic Texas history into my furniture, and that's what this is. It has some cool details, so you got these little plug tenons and you got a bead going down the apron. Kind of a cool little touch, very simple. Not an overly complicated table. Obviously the legs are a bit challenging. Those are cut out on the bandsaw and then hand shaped with spoke shaves. I have quite a bit of footage of doing that, and I think I'm going to do a separate video just on how I shape those legs and a few other components of this table build. I think that might make up a cool video. This is the top to the bench. It's a single board, got some really beautiful figure in this, right where this knot is. Really a cool piece of walnut right there. And then this is the top to the actual table. I just oiled these this morning. I think we're on our 4th coat of oil. Now if you're curious what finish I use, I prefer oil finishes. I've been using a lot of lacquers and conversion varnishes over the last couple years, and I've gone back to oil finishes because they're just so darn nice. This is a General Finishes Armor Seal, super silky smooth. I got 4 coats on here, and one of the reasons I switched over is, well, one, the lacquers are so darn toxic. I'm just tired of using them. And the oils are so easy to apply, and this armor seal is actually very durable. If you get 5 coats on a tabletop, you're gonna have a pretty durable finish. And I have it on my table in my dining room. My kids absolutely abuse it, and it cleans up just fine, and you can just re-oil it when you need to improve or bring back this beautiful satin looking finish. So that's where I'm at. I use oil finishes. If you're curious, I'll put a link in the description if you want to pick up some of that oil and give it a shot. It's pretty solid stuff. Okay, so that's going to close it down for this video. Be sure to leave me a comment about the Sycamore. I really want to know what you guys think. I think it's going to be fun. I think it'll be cool to come up with a really cool project. I want to see some ideas. I want to see what you guys think we can make out of that. If you like this bed or the table, go check it out. Link in the description. You can go to my website. Plus, if you want to see the full build video on this, link is in the description as well. A lot of cool content coming your way. We got the Alamo cannon carriage build coming up next, and the Argosy is going to get painted real soon. Trying to play catch up, trying to get back on track with the Argosy. Hopefully I can do that here real soon because I want to get that thing done. I want to go camping. It's taking way too long. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate everything you guys do. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.